welcome to Meet the Team Monday. So good to have you on.
It's awesome to be here. How you doing, Alex?
I'm good. Thank you so much for asking. So with me today, we've got Tad Bustin, our Senior Director of Client Success. Would love to talk to you about a couple of different things, just to get to know you a little bit. You've been here, almost 6 years, you and me both?
Coming up on 6 years, got 2 months and we'll be there.
Wow, time really flies.
Yeah.
So that's a good segue. We clearly have been here a little while. We appreciate what's going on, the culture, the growth, and all that. I would love to hear a little bit about what you appreciate the most about Demand Drive and the culture we've got here.
Definitely. Yeah, no, I love Demand Drive. I think, like you said, me and you both have been here almost 6 years, and we wouldn't still be here if there was, nothing but love for Demand Drive. Obviously biased being here saying that, but, very true in the fact that we're here. I'd say things I love about Demand Drive, definitely community and growth have been, two of the big things. I know they're part of our, the what's the word I'm looking for here? Like core mission statement.
Or values.
Values, sorry. Our core values, community and growth, where I think it's a great atmosphere where SDRs, managers, people in marketing, recruiting, training all around can reach out to each other and if they ever need help with anything, people are always there to lend a helping hand. And then it's a cool organization too, where so much has been done through like both internal and external growth. And so like internal growth where like you look across me in my position, Alex, you in your position, like, AJ on your team, Sean, Chelsea, our directors of training and recruiting, our VPs have all started in the SDR role and kind of grown to where they are, here at Demand Drive, which again, I think speaks back to the whole culture and growth that I talked about where, they wouldn't be here if they didn't love it here. And then also the other side of that coin is that, there are opportunities to grow internally for people. And so they have, pursue those as well. So like, that's awesome to see. And then that external side too, people coming to Demand Drive as SDRs and have the opportunity to kind of, go on and be, maybe they're interested in starting a business, maybe they're interested in becoming an AE, maybe they're interested in getting into recruiting. They can kind of see like, hey, what do I like about this? Like what skills am I learning? And then kind of chase those, different pathways from the SDR position too. Yeah,
exactly. I know the SDR position, like you learn a lot of just business skills, I would say. So if you want to go in another direction, it's great for that. And I do appreciate, I moved into marketing. So I've always appreciated that Demand Drive lets you sort of follow and chase those avenues that you want. Mm-hmm. Looking more at your day-to-day role, you're a director of client success, you manage a lot of projects here. I'd love to learn a little bit. I've seen some of the dashboards and reports you've created. So outside of some of the more basic reports any manager could make, like, activity metrics or past leads, what reports have you made that you find are the most useful for your SDRs?
Definitely. Yeah. And I think it's cool. And I literally was just doing a training on CRMs and dashboards. So very fresh in the brain. I think some reports and dashboards that I find really helpful for SDRs outside of the basic ones like activities, quality connects, just tracking their basic pipeline. I always love doing things where it's like almost like a kicker to be like, hey, reminder, you might want to follow up with this person. Maybe it was we call them a Demand Drive, an ISQL, an inside sales qualified lead, basically a pipeline that hasn't quite converted to that SAL or lead yet. Like maybe, hey, you had this great conversation 3 months ago. You haven't followed up with them since then. Having some sort of component on the dashboard that sort of raises that up so it's in front of their eyes when they're kind of going about their day. Stuff like that. A little bit outside the norm, but super helpful for them to kind of track. And then I'll also say that like one of the cool parts about working, with all the different CRMs out there is that, a lot of the time, if we can think it up, we can probably figure out some way to create some facet of it. And so definitely staying creative with like, what's going to help you, because every SDR is going to be slightly different. Like maybe they have a really innate way of like going about, tracking their pipeline, on their own. Maybe they are a stickler for like their notebook and like maybe they need help looking at something else. So like talking with them and seeing like, hey, what would be helpful for you on a dashboard in the CRM? And then trying to build that for them so that, it's a little bit more tailored. And that's like a cool thing you can kind of do for the SDRs that you're working with.
Yeah, I would have. Yeah, I love that idea. I think that sort of goes in line with being more than we've talked. Just our content itself has talked about being more than just a dashboard manager, right? You can build as many reports as you want, but getting to know that person is, I think, the case in point is it's just like every person is unique. So everyone's going to want maybe slightly different reports, slightly different dashboards to help motivate them, get them on track, and things like that. So, yeah, I like that a lot. Enough about work. Let's talk about you. Here's two facts I know about Tad Bustin. He loves history, and he loves the show Survivor. So, here's what I'm going to throw out to you. Out of all the U.S. presidents, which one would do the best at Survivor?
Yeah, so as someone who loves Survivor, loves to read, loves to combine the two a lot of the time, and it likes to just mix things up and make a lot of silly analogies that people have to listen to or comparisons. This is a great question, you know. I think it kind of breaks off into two. Who would be the most fun to watch to on a hit show like Survivor entering its 42nd season? And who would be the best, you know, who would, you know, probably fare the best, you know, consistently playing with anyone else. It's tough because I think you have to both weigh in who would be an easy target right away because of their pedigree and like their resume. If you're playing on, say, a presidential season. And who would be the people who, you know, kind of fly under the radar, but are still really strong players that might at the end snatch the crown. So maybe not the most popular pick, but very dynamic. I would go with Lyndon B. Johnson, you know, a guy, the master of the Senate, the wheeler and dealer, because he is, you know, not going to be, you know, I think you get your George Washingtons, you know, they're going after them right away. The Abraham Lincolns, probably also physical threats. So they're trying to take them out. And you have some guy behind the scenes who is schmoozing up, being deferential, you know, trying to win over people to his side, getting things across, you know, getting his vote, making sure he's in a good position at the end. Lyndon B. Johnson, that's my pick, you know.
Wow. And you don't think, because you read, we were talking before the recording, you read his biography, right? Wasn't he very paranoid at the end of his presidency? And would that play a factor there if he starts to get like really paranoid on the island?
So he's a man of highs and lows. So yes, I've read really good for anyone out there, Robert Caro's 4 volumes so far out on Lyndon B. Johnson, The Life and Times. The 5th volume still slated to come out. Very exciting. But yeah, he is definitely a high and low kind of guy where there are peaks for him and there are valleys. So that would definitely be a concern. Sometimes he seems very depressed when things aren't going his way and he retracts, and paranoia is definitely there. Also, I mean, just there's a million of litany of personal things that could get in the way. But when he's solely focused on something, like what he did for the majority leader position in the Senate and taking a hold of that position, and, you know, wheeling and dealing in that spot, and then moving to the presidency with the Great Society and all these things, like he definitely can get things done. And so over 39 days, I'm hoping that we don't hit any of those lulls, and he is a rocket ship to the finale, and able to work both sides and accomplish the goal of sole survivor.
All right, you heard it here first. Lyndon B. Johnson, best president of Survivor.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's ever had an explanation of Lyndon B. Johnson winning Survivor yet, so maybe that's new for the internet.
There we go. New for the internet. That's a big win. Everything's on the internet. This is new for the internet.
Someone find me a clip out. I mean, I'm sure there is a clip of someone doing a detailed analysis of Lyndon B. Johnson winning Survivor.
Yeah, I'm gonna head over to YouTube after this and see what's going on. But Tad, thank you so much for hopping on. And I'll look forward to speaking with you soon.
Love it. Appreciate it, man. I'll see you.